All right, ladies, it's the matchmaker here, Letitia Underwood, and I decided I needed to address this. Like, this is something that I've always talked about and I've always stated, and it's always come up, and it's a hot topic on social media at times, but it's the most uncomfortable topic to have, and that's weight, right? That's women's weight. I have to tell women, I tell women all the time, listen, in order to attract the best, you have to be the best, which includes your weight. And there's a reason, like, so this is not just to try to shame or bash women. Women need to understand that men want something particular. And then I hear women talk about, well, I'm just fine and I got my man and he's just fine with it, blah, blah, and all this other stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm not talking about all men. I'm talking about high value men. And the women who give the most pushback do not have high value men. They've never dated a high value man. They've never dated a man in the top 5%. So I'm not talking about you and I'm not talking about your man. And if you don't want to attract and date and marry a high value man, that is fine. But there are women who do. And so when it comes to marriage and the prospects of actually being married, and having a more financially stable and secure dynamic, especially with the rate of the economy, I'm trying to tell women and get them to understand that your weight is the first thing he's going to be able to assess. Your face and your weight, your body, your outer package is what he's going to be able to assess. And that's going to make or break whether or not he approaches you. So, for all those who think weight is not an issue, let me tell you who it's not an issue for. Men in the lower socioeconomic classes. Men in the lower socioeconomic classes are the only group of men who will mate with overweight and obese women. Here's why. They all know, men truly desire physically fit women. They all want a woman who looks good in her clothes and looks good out. What men in the lower socioeconomic classes do is they trade on the fact that they like really big butts and really big breasts and really wide hips. So if you have those, they'll be willing to mate with you, right? They like that. They'll focus on those attributes and say, oh, she's got a big butt. So, but they all want a woman who's physically fit. That's why you see all the likes on the IG photos. They watch the porn. They look at the women who have these physically fit bodies and they sexually desire them because, yes, that's what they want. They all want that type of woman. They all want that body type. Men in the lower socioeconomic classes understand the mating strategies of women. They also know that they can't compete with the men at the top. They know that the mating strategies of women is to be with a man who has the most resources, right? The best bodies, the best faces, the most good-looking men or the most rich men, right? They know that women desire these men, but they can't compete with them. They cannot compete with men at the top. So the only way to keep a woman is by making her less desirable to those men. So men will uphold the standard of thickness, wanting a woman to be thick, okay with an overweight woman, okay with an obese woman. Why? Because he does not have to compete more than he already feels comfortable to do so. So he is okay with it because he knows that if you lost the weight, more men who probably have more than him will start looking at you and you might consider it. So that's why when a man is okay with your thickness, he's okay with your overweight, he's okay with your obesity, what he is signaling to you is that he's okay with not having to compete with men who have more. He doesn't want to. So ladies, if you want to stay in that position, that's fine. If you're fine with yourself and you like how you are, fine. Then stick with that. Don't say my man likes it. Because no, he doesn't. He's just okay with it because he can't get any better. And he knows that as long as you are overweight and obese, that he's not going to lose you to a man who has more. Because he understands men who have more, they want more, they require more, and they don't want overweight and obese women.